YouTube, we are here at Three Bulls Tavern and Brewery. Oh my God, so cool, very excited. Let's go check this place out. Come on. All right, so YouTube, we are here at Three Bulls Tavern and Brewery. I've got Jimmy Mellody, who is the owner and chef of this fine establishment, where I actually personally come with my wife. We love it. So, thanks for having us out.
No, anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, thank you, man. All right, so this is our rapid fire segment. The world famous rapid fire.
I've heard all about it.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Listen, the questions aren't crazy, and what it's basically so we see kind of the where you're at, where you come from, what's in your head, right? So, what actually got you into the restaurant life?
I kind of grew up in it, actually. My father shoveling snow in Pennsylvania, actually, way back in the day, threw out his back and moved to Florida to get into the restaurant business with the rest of our extended family.
Because if I threw out my back, the first thing I'd want to do is go open a restaurant.
We had a bunch of family who was down here. I grew up in a big Italian family. Food was all around us. That's why he came down here to get in with the rest of the family.
All right. So, and you're I knew there was something good about this guy. I knew it. Paisan.
Half Italian, half Irish.
Okay, and I knew you were at least half cool. No, I'm kidding. But
I did. My grandmother, it was always walking into the house every single day. There was my grandmother didn't buy a box of pasta until she was 60-some years old. She made it every day.
I can appreciate that. I used to sit with my grandmother, and she would she would roll out the dough and pop off the gnocchis and fresh and everything. I remember that. It was
every
awesome.
single day walking in the house. There was a sauce going. She was making pasta, but I said my dad came down here and got into the business, and I followed suit.
You stayed in it, like you're from it. You're cut. The cloth is cut from. Tell me the meaning behind the Three Bulls name.
So it's kind of a lame story. It's not very interesting, I don't think.
Okay.
So Tracey, my wife, who is the brewer here, is into astrology, and she is a Taurus. 3 ways. But I don't even know how this happened, but 3 different ways. So that's where the Three Bulls come from. And she would be brewing beer in our backyard. Mm-hmm. And she started calling it Three Bulls Brewery in our backyard at the house, putting it out on Facebook. It just kind of became a thing. It was out there, so we just kind of went with it.
So other than my own wife, okay. Your wife is brewing beer, how cool! You have the coolest wife on the planet.
Okay, so about 8 years ago, she wasn't even a beer drinker. We went to I think it was Brass Tap down the street. She had a Belgian triple,
Mm-hmm.
which she absolutely loved.
Yep.
8 years later, we opened up a brewery. She just jumps into whatever. She loves things. She jumps in.
That's awesome.
And it makes I don't even know how we got here, but
you're here.
Crazy.
And it's
absolutely
gorgeous.
crazy. She wasn't even a beer drinker, tasted this thing that she loved, got into brewing. 8 years later, or whatever it is, where we have a brewery now.
Well, you're saying all the right stuff to me. All right, I can assure you that. Your favorite, if you had one food to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
This is going to be either sushi.
Okay.
Or
that was like a left turn.
I'm going from. It's going to be the complete opposite end of the spectrum here. Or cheeseburgers.
I'll go cheeseburger.
If my
and sushi
deathbed
too.
meal would
Okay.
be the cheeseburger.
I agree with that 100%.
I think it's an American art form.
True story.
Here, from day one, we said we're going to be grinding all our own meat back there. We're going to put a lot of effort into the cheeseburger, and we're
What's in your burger?
Skirt steak, chuck, and bacon. We grind it into the burger. and we're very happy. 2 patties, has to be 2 patties.
Stop it, because I'm going to shut all the cameras off, and I'm just going to go in the kitchen and I'm going to just eat all your hamburgers. I'll do it.
But we're very serious about the cheeseburger here.
If you, and I'm with you on that, by the way. I'm a cheeseburger guy. Grandma in heaven. I'm a pasta guy, but I'm going to go with the cheeseburgers. If you didn't own a restaurant, what would you be? If you were a restaurateur or chef,
what would you be? Starving musician.
Okay. Starving restaurant owner or starving musician?
Yes,
I get it.
I play right now. I've always played my guitar my whole life. I kind of have a band that's like, thank God we're in the restaurant business. Gonna,
But are you still playing?
Yes.
That's
my hobby, which
we're gonna.
But I can't think of anything else.
Someday, not too far in the future, we're gonna come back, and you're gonna get with your guys and gals, whatever, and we'll shoot that and
absolutely.
get it on the.
We need all the help we can get.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, man.
It would be a blast.
I used to sing, so stop it. All right.
Audition, let's go.
On a scale of 1 to 10, current environment, how hard is it to find staff right now?
The hardest it has ever been. I've never seen anything like it. I think we're not in as bad. We've gone through a little bit of a rough patch over the last couple months, but we're not as bad as a lot of places around town. I mean, some places have had to shut down for a day or two at a time because they don't have anyone.
Right.
We've been in restaurants over the last one where the manager has met us at the door and said, it's just me and a couple other servers right now. Be patient with us.
And you got the chef on dish, washing dishes.
Absolutely. We'll set up 10 interviews that we set up. One person will show up for the interview.
And probably not show up for the job.
Nope. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, hopefully that's going to change real soon.
Next couple of months, I think.
In the next couple of months.
Yes.
Florida is on fire right now, busy. And gosh, we need to.
Well, that being said, I would just throughout the whole shutdown, the ones that we've had, our original crew, they stayed with us. In fact, the kitchen staff stayed with us. The front of the house stayed with us throughout. There was a time when we were just doing to-go orders. It was just the manager and myself basically here. The servers we had to kind of furlough, but they waited until we got back up and running, and they all came back.
That's awesome.
So,
I had a similar thing. I furloughed 10 people, and I was able to bring them back in another life here. Best phone call to have to do. Hey, we're ready. Come back. So you open a restaurant, you know there's going to be challenges. So many. Is there a challenge that you found after the fact that you had no idea that there was going to be a challenge for that particular thing? Anything unknown creep up and hit you?
Well, it would have to be the shutdown, the COVID thing that hit. Out of absolutely, it was the strangest, just the weirdest thing ever to see it, just an empty parking lot, empty streets, no employee cars in the back. We had to, but we
a lot of sunbathers though.
Sunbathers
in the front lawn,
everywhere.
Because I was working, and I would leave, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
It was. It's something you could never ever prepare for. But it was at that time that I think we kind of became the neighborhood pub. The community came in and just they were ordering to-go orders 2 or 3 times a week, tipping like they dine in. We started doing family meals. We had to learn to adapt. It was a weird, strange.
True story. Glad you made it through. The area needs this here.
They seem so grateful. Really, the people were so supportive and so grateful.
Well, there's nothing else really local. There's a few places, not in. I didn't want to get into that, but yeah. Look, all right. So, the best piece of advice ever given to you is what?
I would say someone told me that the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Okay.
The way you do the smallest task is the way you're going to do something very important. If you half-ass, whatever that thing is, you're not going to just turn around when you're doing
Whoever
bigger
told
things.
you that is a sage, because that's a good one.
I mean, it's.
And you know what? You came up with that pretty quick right here on the spot. So kudos to that.
I've been thinking about that one a lot.
Awesome. Jimmy, appreciate the rapid fire. We are now going to go into your kitchen and we're going to watch you cook up some good
Awesome.
stuff, and we'll go break bread here shortly.
Sounds great.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
WIT, you know the drill. DonPabloCoffee.com. Check them out.
So listen, we're here at Three Bulls, obviously, right? And I look over and I see this table, and you know, everybody's got on the Three Bulls t-shirt. I said, hey, what the hell is this? What's going on here? And why don't you tell me about that?
Well, we have a regular routine where we come here for happy hour every other week, and we made it fun by buying the shirts just so we can kind of make everybody else jealous.
So it's
Know what we're doing.
it's kind of like Team Three Bulls, right?
It's
Team Three Bulls,
yeah.
and it's literally our happy hour to make us happy and sane.
And is this the whole crew? You missing
Yes.
anybody?
No, this
No,
is it.
because we like to come here because we love the food, but that's the one thing, because we could really go anywhere. And actually, this is kind of far away for us to go, but we love the food, and they're consistently good, so that brings us back all the time.
Well, listen, ladies, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of this Friday.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm going to make sure that Jimmy and Tracy know. Well, you probably already know them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who the hell
They
am I?
know us.
Right. Keep it up. We appreciate you.
Bye, thank you.
All right. YouTube, we got walk-in confessions. Come on, let's do this. Okay, so we are here. We're ready to do walk-in confessions. I've got Tracey Mellody, who is Miss Thang in here, making the beer and stuff. All right, so we kind of talked about what walk-in confessions is. It's,
Yes.
you know, the walk-in cooler. It's the lifeblood of the restaurant.
It is.
There's all sorts of stories that happen in this restaurant. A lot of them
Yes.
happen in here. You were kind of telling me you had something interesting go down. What do you got?
Well, my walk-in confession actually is about this very walk-in. And as you said, the walk-in is the lifeblood of any restaurant, and it also can put the fear of God into you when something goes wrong with the walk-in. So our story is last year on Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day last year happened on a Friday. So not only is it going to be a big day because it's Friday, but it's Valentine's Day on top of it. We had loads and loads of prep to do, not only for our weekend, but also for our Valentine's Day special. So we get here very early. We have a big day ahead of us, and we get going on everything. And my kitchen manager walks in this walk-in and walks out and says, "Fan's not running." I'm like, "What do you mean the fan's not running?" She's like, "Fan's not running." I'm like, "Well, when is the defrost mode set on this
That's
thing?"
always a good sign,
Yes.
by the way.
And she said, "Well, that's set at 3 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, "Oh my God." And at that moment, every restaurant owner probably does the same thing. They cross both fingers and then they say a prayer to the restaurant gods that there's a tripped breaker. And you go to the breaker box and you look for the tripped breaker. You pray for that thing, and alas, we go to the breaker and the breaker is not tripped. So we have a problem with our walk-in. So we
Did you get hot all
Oh,
over?
broke out in a cold sweat.
Yeah.
It's that fear that you just get when you're like, when you know that it's Friday and you are,
It's about to go down.
it's just not very often you can get anything repaired on a Friday. Okay, so we call our guy. Thankfully, he was still local. He lives around here and hadn't left yet on his daily job. So he came right over, gets on the roof of this thing, and comes down with a very sullen look and breaks the news to us that our compressor had died and it fried out the fan and everything else. And there was nothing we could do except replace the entire thing. This is Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning.
You mean this wasn't like on a Monday when nobody's
Yes.
here and it doesn't matter? Are you
That's-
trying to say it was like Friday, Valentine's Day, biggest restaurant day, food day of the year?
It literally could not have happened on a worse day. So, fine. So I say, Mike, do they have a compressor in stock? He's like, actually they do. And I'm like, can you get us running by 4 p.m.? He goes, I can. I'm like, done, do it. So next thing on the list is you call a refrigerated truck company and you have the refrigerated truck come out because you got to save all the food that you have. So that took about an hour, get the refrigerated truck delivered. We spend the next hour unloading this place and loading it into the refrigerated truck. By that time, it's probably about 11 o'clock in the morning. We start prep on Friday at 8. We're 3 hours down at this point. It's very tense.
That hurts.
But yeah, it does. However, we did get out all the food moved over and we started to breathe a little easier because while we are down, we know that our food is safe and we can manage this. It won't be ideal, but we can manage it. So a couple hours goes by, we're starting on our prep, and our food truck that we get on Fridays that has all our food for the weekend drives up and needs to make a delivery. So we're like, all right, well, our walk-in is being repaired. We have a refrigerated truck, so let's bring the food over there. We're gonna unload over there. And we opened the door to the refrigerated truck and it had died.
Oh my goodness.
It's not working. So now we have
It was meant to be.
we have a walk-in and a refrigerated truck that are not working. And then our food truck is here. And so we're, spazzing out on all of that. In the meantime, thankfully, this walk-in was fired up and had been cooling. And we were able to resolve it by moving everything back over here, but it was at 4 o'clock and we open at 4 o'clock. So we got everything resolved, but we were 45 minutes late opening.
So basically what happens is, right? So you had all the lovebirds in-house.
Yes.
They're drinking their wine, they're having a scotch, they're, something like that. And ultimately, they don't know that there was a complete breakdown
Oh, no.
here. And so at the end of the day, it was a good ending here. Because
It
sometimes
was.
they're not.
No.
But at the end of the day, the lovebirds got the food.
They did. It was a little late, but they did get their food.
They got their ribeyes. They got everything they needed.
Yes, it was.
And
and we were able to open and we finished off the night okay, but it's not a day that I would ever want to relive.
no, man, that's a horror story.
Yeah, it was.
That's a horror story, but it ended well. Tracy, thank you for taking part
You're
in Walk-In
welcome.
Confessions. That was awesome.
All right.
And you are a restaurant gangster. I'm just saying. Just saying.
We tried.
They call me Don Pablo, and 20 years ago, I discovered my passion for great quality coffee. Today, we're roasting excellent quality coffee that's rich, smooth, and very complex. It's a taste that's new in the world.
All right, so Three Bulls Tavern and Brewery, right? That's where we are right now.
Yep.
Tracy, I heard a cool story about the backyard and beer. Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, as I got started brewing beer in my backyard, I was a home brewer, what the industry calls someone who brews at home is a home brewer. And I, in 2012, decided I was going to brew beer and taught myself. And I became very passionate about my craft and brewed so much in my backyard. About every once a week, I would brew beer.
You were brewing beer once a week.
I was.
This is like, again, honey, I love you. You know that. But that's like heavenly. That's a keeper right here. Hashtag keeper. Just saying.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and so Jimmy's out there. He's on the barbecue. He's cooking stuff.
correct.
You got like fresh beer. That's like, oh my God, that sounds like awesome. So Tracy, what's your favorite beer?
Well, it's Saison, of course.
Of course it is. All right, so we're gonna have some Saison, some other stuff at the table. Can't wait for you to explain about the beer.
I can't wait to explain it.
Let's do this.
All right.
All right, so Tracy,
Yes.
Jimmy, this looks freaking awesome. Okay? I told you off camera that like, hey, this is my favorite part. Because it is. I have gained weight over the last several months for this. And you know what? I love it. Best weight I ever gained in my life. So, Jimmy, you came out of the kitchen. You put everything together. Can you tell us what we have?
So this is our butcher's board right here, which we do every weekend. It's kind of highlights all the stuff that we do in the kitchen. We smoke as an Italian sausage, just an herb sausage that we all grind in-house, make in-house. Smoked short ribs, we all smoke everything in-house. Pastrami that we smoke here. Stirred steak, polenta cake, Scotch eggs. We make with our chorizo that we make all
I'm
in-house.
eyeballing that. Yep.
A little bit of twist on a regular Scotch egg. These are smoked ribeye. It's like a little French dip type of thing. That's, again, we smoke that all in-house. And kind of a lighter option. I think the menu kind of hopefully hits all bases. Avocado pesto, jalapeno pesto, avocado puree, shrimp, jalapenos, cilantro. It's kind of a light sort of thing.
Before we get into the beer, I just want you to know that if I was by myself here, I would just jump into it and roll around, and I would love it. All right, kidding. Tracy, what do we have for beer? Talk to me.
Okay, so I poured you our #1 selling beer, which is the Scottish Ale.
Okay.
It's a 4.8% traditional Scottish Ale. It's basically English malt and a little bit of roast barley in it.
That's nice.
Yes, it's very easy drinking, and a big surprise that it's our #1 seller. Most people would think it would be an IPA or something along those lines.
I'm not an IPA guy. I like a nice smooth beer. I don't want something punching me in the face. This is awesome, and I like it.
Well, we love the Scotch Ale because it goes with a lot of the things that we make here.
Yeah, no, I guess it pairs well with the
Yes,
meats and all.
it does.
Yeah. And then the
I'm drinking the Saison. That is my favorite style, and there's a lot of things that I could say about Saison, but one of the things that I'll say is that it is very underappreciated. Not a lot of people know about the style, but it is like one of the best beers for this climate. It's very dry, very highly carved, so it's got sort of a champagne-like quality to it.
so it's
And
refreshing in some
it's
way.
very refreshing. There's a slight touch of acidity to it, and it's very thirst quenching for a very hot environment that we live in.
And we're in Florida,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I'm thinking like drink up, drink away, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's what we do here.
Yes.
We drink up, drink away.
Yes.
Eat up, eat away, whatever.
Yeah.
We drink a lot in the restaurant.
No
You may have heard.
Yeah, I've got like a 20-year hangover still. All right,
Survivor.
don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Listen, let's break bread. Let's eat. I want to thank you for having us take over your restaurant here for a short
Oh
period
man,
of
thank
time.
you so much.
Absolutely.
You guys are good sports. You're good people. This is a wonderful place to come and eat and have a beverage. Please make sure you come. Okay? YouTube, come here.
Cheers.
Salud.